Alright, welcome back to the MMO Let's Play. Last time we left off coming back to get our town map from Gary's sister. Because I ran all the way up to where Brock was and completely spaced out on the fact that she had one to give. So here, I think we should be able to assign things up here if this is a hotbar. Key item, town map. Yeah, we'll do this. Nice. Okay, there we go. Alright. So, after yesterday getting completely destroyed by Gary, it has made me think twice about going and trying to fight Brock with my Bulbasaur the way that he currently is. I think I want to try to actually level him up to Ivysaur, maybe? Just so he can withstand any of the attacks that come from Brock's Pokemon. So I think today that's probably what I'm going to focus on. And I don't really know where I want to train at. Because Bulbasaur is, for all intents and purposes, a special attacker, I think. Let's see, let's check his base stats here. Yeah, he leans really heavily into special attack. So if I start training him on things that give attack, well, we're going to have to take those EVs away later. And I really want to avoid that if at all possible. Do I have a Pokeball? I actually have 5. I have no idea where I got those unless I bought them last time. But I think another thing I want to do, I see people walking around with Nidoran. I want to get one for myself. So if everyone's over here and they've got Nidoran on them, Doduos even, like, maybe this is where I can get one? And I probably should not be leading Ponyta here if I'm going for... No, you know what? No. We'll send it. Let's see what happens. Spearow. I've already got a Pidgey. I don't really need this guy. But he might be nice to catch for the Pokedex. We can do that later, though. I think I want to try to spare my balls for things that I actually want to catch. Okay. Nido Queen or Nido King. I don't think it really matters. Let's try an Ember. Okay, that did quite a lot. I'm just gonna try and send it. Let's see. Okay. We'll see if we can get the mail. Not sure if that's gonna be... I mean, if she shows up here, it's very likely that there should be a mail here. You know what? What does this give for EVs? Try and maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't necessarily want to catch it, but I don't necessarily want to run either if it's useful. 1 HP? No, I'll pass. I don't really have anyone I'm trying to bulk up right now, except for maybe Bulbasaur. I think it might be useful to have some bulk on this guy, just because he has Leech Seed, and I could potentially stall battles that way. I'll tell you what, though, this trying to find a Nidoran male is proving to be a little excruciating. This is crazy. I'm not particularly interested in Doduo. Yeah, we'll just run away. I don't even want to bother trying to catch one. Because I don't think I'm gonna use it on my team. I really do want to try to only catch things that are either useful, like in this case I caught Caterpie because I want to try to use him as a sleep powder guy, right? On a compoundized Butterfree. So I see usefulness there. But I don't really know how I could utilize Doduo in a way that I can't with my Pidgey. Or Rattata even. Like another normal type. So it's just redundant. Alright, I think I've given up on Nidoran Mail. Yeah, I don't wanna stay here too long. If I get him right here, cool. If not, alright. See ya. The only thing I need to try and think about here is if I do put Nidoran on my team, she is poison. So poison has a weakness to psychic, and so does my Mankey. I think Caterpie could probably swap into a psychic move, but since he's so squishy, that would probably not be the best case scenario. Lacks defense and special defense. Okay, so this is going to be defensively bulky. I think that's fine. I'll swap out Rattata here, because he's on the really bad side, honestly. So this is going to be the team for now. I think Caterpie will eventually get swapped out for something else that is possibly more useful in that slot, and I'll only bring him when I'm trying to catch things. But right now, we have Fire, which has a ground weakness, I think a rock weakness as well. So that's covered by Bulbasaur and Pidgey, the ground weakness at least. I could swap to Pidgey. The rock weakness, I could swap to Bulbasaur. And then in those scenarios, if these guys are weak to fire, it's possible... I can't remember what Rapidash learns as skills, but I think Flash Fire is possibly one of them. So that gives us a fire immunity on the team, which could be useful for protecting Bulbasaur and possibly even Caterpie if we do keep him on the team for a while. So we've got a little bit of defensive swap synergy going on, but I'm trying not to over-index into one weakness. So, nah, we don't care about Bellsprout here. We already determined that he doesn't get Spore, and if it's between Sleep Powder Caterpie or Sleep Powder Bellsprout, I'd rather just the Caterpie. Although I could possibly be training on things like Pidgey here, just to get some speed. No burn yet? Damn. Oh, this is about to be really... Alright, yeah, I just need to pick a swap. I'll swap Pidgey, because I think I do want speed EVs on Pidgey. And that could be pretty... Oh god, I'm only level 3, I just realized. Okay. No, we're not swapping Pidgey. we'll swap Ponyta again, just because. Oh, they anticipated the swap back, but that's all right. I think we should have enough accuracy to hit here. There we go. Okay. We'll see if we can make it the rest of the way through here. And then I should just be able to train on Pidgey and Rattata right outside of where Brock's gym is at. We'll spend a little bit of time training there. I'll probably end up speeding up the footage there just to not have you guys sit through multiple possibly I don't want to say hours of training. I'm not going to be here that long, but I don't want to have y'all sitting there forever. So let's do this. Let's start on Pidgey, because I do want to swap out. I'm just going to swap train the Pidgey for now. All right. Well, now that we have Ivysaur, I'm just gonna go fight Brock. I will have ideally sped through the training there. I thought that I was gonna do a lot of training off camera and then just come back to have all my Pokemon trained and move through the story, but I think I would rather do all of my training on camera and just do a little bit of a time lapse. And if that means extending the amount of time that I have to record to make sure that the video stays at least at the 1 hour mark, I think we'll do that. Just that way you guys have an hour of actual content, not just training. And if at any point you guys feel like watching the training and just having me do commentary, we could do that, but I don't think that would be particularly engaging. So we're gonna speed through the training arcs whenever they go to happen. And Ivysaur is actually probably gonna carry us quite a ways, at least until we get to Lieutenant Surge. Once we get to him, we'll probably need to swap over to something else. And if I remember right, there's a Diglett Cave over next to, what is it, Vermilion City? Is that where Surge is at? There's probably a Diglett Cave over there where I can grab a Diglett to fight Surge with. And that would actually double as giving me a dig Pokemon for the team, so that way I can dig my way out of caves and things. So I think that's probably one way that I can address the weaknesses on the team. Because Pidgey, while he is going to be immune to ground, he'll be weak to thunder. and we can cover that weakness with, I mean, Ivysaur. Ivysaur has lightning resistance as a grass Pokemon, but having a lightning immunity will help in scenarios where I can't swap back to Ivysaur or Venusaur. We'll just swap into Diglett in that scenario. So I think having a Dig Pokemon on the team would be invaluable, at least for a little while. I don't think Ground is weak to too much once we start getting towards the end game, actually. So, he's probably gonna have Sturdy, yeah. I'm probably gonna have to two-shot most of his Pokemon here because I don't have a multi-hit move. I don't even think Ivysaur learns multi-hit moves. Seed Bomb is definitely not multi-hit. Power Whip, not multi-hit. This is actually a really strong move, though. With no downside, except for a lower accuracy. That's crazy. I didn't realize he learned that. And from what I was seeing, I think the only grass-type move that Ivysaur and Venusaur get that are special, unless Venusaur has something different. The only special type move that these guys get is Solar Beam. So they're actually more of a physical attacker in terms of like a move set than they are a special attacker. And I really don't know how I feel about that. Because I don't want to train this guy for physical attack if I can help it. He does have some strong physical attacks, no doubt, but his stats are not built for it. If we go and we look at his Pokedex entry, his base stats, I mean, sure, you could argue that he's a somewhat hybrid attacker, but he's always going to be a weaker physical attacker than he is a special attacker. So I don't know. His moveset being physical is not something I'm too thrilled about. And for some reason, I can't close that window. There we go. So yeah, I don't really see myself using Ivysaur or Venusaur in that scenario because of the mismatch in their moveset. Now, I mean, there is probably an argument for sticking with Growth to raise attack and special attack. Leech Seed, and then probably replace Razor Leaf with Solar Beam, and then have some sort of move here. And if that could be Sunny Day, that might be enough to convince me to keep using Ivysaur or Venusaur as a special attacker. Sunny Day S. Yeah, we can't get Sunny Day. So, since he can learn this, I could use him as an actual special attacker. Which means in place of Ponyta, we may want to try to find a fire Pokemon that can set up the sun. I don't know which Pokemon in this generation have that, but that might be an option. So maybe that's the team loadout for now. Is a Sunny Day setup team with man, I don't know. I don't think I've ever built a Sunny Day team. But we'll try it. And it looks like we actually got running shoes. So that's huge. Oh man. Alright. Yeah, this is way better. At least until we get the bike. This is a good addition. I think I have enough Pokeballs here to try and catch something in the next route if I want. I don't really know what that's gonna be. But I kind of want to train this Nidoran at some point. But for now, we're just gonna keep moving through with Ivysaur. Try to hit these trainers here, get us some cash, and then kind of make a couple of decisions on what we may end up including. Because I think in the upcoming cave, we're gonna have some rock-type guys, which could prove very useful, if we end up getting one of them that has Sturdy. Because I think both Onyx and Geodude show up in this next cave, and both of them can learn Stealth Rock. So we could actually go with Geodude as a Stealth Rock setter, and not really care whether he lives or dies. It doesn't matter. We lead with Geodude, set up Stealth Rocks, and then go from there. So I do think I want to try to maybe spend some of my Pokeballs on him, if possible. We're going to do these trainer battles just to get Ivysaur some levels, because if I can get this guy to level 36, well, we might... I don't think I could do that right now. Let's see. No, 26. So we're level capped no matter what, but the closer I can get to 36, the better off I'll be. So I think that's what we're going to try. I wonder... Misty's the next gym. So Ivysaur should be able to take care of that one too. I wonder what level I end up actually unlocking at the next gym there. It probably won't be 36. We went from 20 to 26 right there. So I mean, if the same logic holds, it'll probably go to 32. And I think if I'm remembering right, we need 32. So maybe they won't let us get to 32. Maybe they'll cut me off at, like, I don't know, like 28 or something like that. Or 30. I feel like with the way that it seems, they don't want to give you too many levels as you progress here to keep the challenge up. Which I kind of like, but at the same time, I would like to be able to evolve my dude. I think right now, just because of the fact that this guy is strong enough to carry me through most of this early game, what we'll probably end up doing is trying to see enough Pokemon, because I think the Oak's aids, they end up giving you items based on either how many Pokemon you've seen or how many Pokemon you've owned. So if I can talk to one of the Oak aids, there's the possibility of picking up an EXP share pretty early. And in that scenario, I could use a strong Pokemon to actually just farm experience for the team. And that'd make it a little bit safer instead of having to, like, swap train. And it would actually let me, because of the way EXP share works, or just the way that EXP and EVs work in the game in general, any Pokemon that participates in a battle gets EVs. And EXP share, whenever you have it on another Pokemon, it counts that Pokemon as having participated in the battle. So you can actually kill two birds with one stone, or, you know, in this scenario, we're going to get two EVs for one knockout. which increases your efficiency twofold, right? Like, we have to fight 2 times fewer Pokemon in order to actually train our guys. So, if we can get that, that would be really, really powerful. And I don't know when that shows up. I haven't played this version in a really long time. But I do know that the Oak's aids in those little connection centers from zone to zone, that's where we're likely to find it. So I'm going to do my best to check every single one of those as we go through them. So that way, once we do have access to EXP share, we get it ASAP. And I need to find a good spot to train for special attack. I don't really know when or where that's going to come up. But for now, because we only have physical attacks, it's not horrible to train for physical attack, because Razor Leaf and Tackle are both physical. And I really can't do anything about that. Because I think even the next moves that we learn in the moveset, I think they're all physical. Well, these are status, but Seed Bomb, physical. 100% accuracy, though. And it's stronger than Razor Leaf, so at level 20, we'll be replacing that. Takedown, we receive a little bit of damage back for it, but it's stronger than Tackle, so we'll be taking that, too. So, like, there are a couple of upgrades along the way for Ivysaur at this point, but none of them are special attacks. And, I don't know, once again, like I was saying, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather have this guy as a Solar Beam, like, special attack, hard hitter. Because I think Solar Beam, if I remember right, it's got a 120 base power, which is really, really strong for a move. And the only downside for Solar Beam at that point is that it requires a charge turn if you're outside of the sun. But ideally, we're going to be trying to set up the sun here. So, what can I wonder if I get knocked out here. I was going to go try and heal before another battle, but I forgot this guy even existed. And I wasn't paying attention. And this is a Spearow. He's likely to knock us out. Level 14. If he uses a flying move, I'm probably dead. We're gonna set up a Leech Seed and hope he doesn't just absolutely wreck us. Oh god, that's not good. Oh, alright. Leech Seed. And I think I remember possibly getting Super Potion. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So this will keep me in the game a little bit. How much does this do? 12. And I heal back... 4? Is that what that was? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so then in that scenario, I'm not even going to bother using Tackle. I'm actually going to Growth probably twice. And then, just slap him. Slap him with a, Tackle. And I do not remember Growth being a move in Gen 1. I think Growth was introduced way later. So this is an updated moveset for Ivysaur, and he's still leaning into being a physical attacker early. I'm surprised they did that. I guess, honestly, it's probably to be in line with the anime, if I think about it. Because I'm pretty sure the majority of the show, Bulbasaur was using, like, Vine Whip and Razor Leaf. And only after he got to Venusaur did he actually do, like, Solar Beam. So it's probably more of a, like a flavor kind of a move set rather than being one balanced for hyper competitiveness. Oh man, all right. He's kind of resistant. If he ends up hardening at some point, no, he's not going to. We're gonna knock him out. I was about to say if Metapod ends up hardening at some point, I'll probably Leech Seed him so that way I can get through his defenses. But that works. All right, and I think that should be the last trainer before we get to Mount Moon. Unless this is a trainer? Yep, okay. Well, now, I think down in this bush is where Jigglypuff is. Yeah, I was about to say. That, I think Sing is probably a little too inconsistent, if I'm being honest. But I think there might be some value in picking up a Jigglypuff, because I think it uses voice-style moves, which also includes things like Hyper Voice. And Hyper Voice would be a special attack that hits all Pokemon. So in like double battles, it could be pretty useful. Seed Bomb. Yeah, I think I decided Seed Bomb is replacing Razor Leaf here. Just because we get more accuracy. They're both physical moves, I might as well. Although, I didn't really check. Does Razor Leaf have some sort of extra condition to it? I know some of them have... let's see, that makes contact with the foe. Razor Leaf. Ah, that's what it was. Razor Leaf had a higher crit chance. So maybe that wasn't the play. Because now I've downgraded in terms of having a lower crit chance. It'll hit harder more consistently. Because I don't know exactly how much the extra crit chance from Razor Leaf ends up being. But a 12% chance to crit and using a +1 crit hit ratio is probably significant. So maybe I messed up. But I guess we'll find out. And you know what? I think it might make sense, instead of trying to catch Pokemon here without any sort of sleep, I think I want to train up the Caterpie. Because if I can train up the Caterpie into Metapod and then to Butterfree, we can get the Sleep Powder and have the Compound Eyes. Hopefully. I don't know if Shield Dust carries over from Caterpie to Metapod to Butterfree. I'm hoping it doesn't. But if it does, that would be unfortunate. We'd have to go catch another Caterpie. But I think what I'll do is probably cut the video here. I've been recording about an hour. There is going to be some time loss from training Ivysaur here. But I think that's okay. I'll stick to recording an hour, and I will do my best to not train too terribly much. As just a rule here. I'm going to lean very heavily on Ivysaur and Venusaur to make it through the playthrough. If I need to do some training, we'll do that, and then we'll do a little montage to get through it. So, for now, I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here, and I will catch you guys on episode 3.